The city was awake before sunrise. Cars moved fast, people walked with coffee cups, and tall glass buildings touched the sky. Inside one of those buildings was the office of Mira Blake, the CEO of a famous company called Myra Tech Corporation. Everyone respected her. Everyone feared her. She was young, beautiful, and rich, but she was also cold. Her eyes were sharp, her voice calm, and her face had no smile. People said she cared more about work than life. No one really knew her story. They only knew she was alone. That morning, Mira had an important meeting. She was checking her files when her assistant Lena rushed in nervously. "Ma'am, there's someone here to see you," Lena said, holding a clipboard. Mira didn't look up. "Tell them I don't take visitors without an appointment." Lena hesitated. "Ma'am, it's a little girl." Mira finally looked up, confused. "A girl for me?" "Yes," Lena said. "She's waiting downstairs. She says she needs to meet you." Mira frowned. "Did she say why?" Lena shook her head. "No, ma'am. But she looks lost." Mira sighed. She didn't have time for strange things like this, but something inside her told her to go. She stood up, straightened her black blazer, and walked out. Her heels clicked on the shiny floor as she entered the elevator. When she reached the lobby, she saw a small girl sitting on a bench near the door. The girl was maybe 6 or 7 years old. She wore a faded pink dress and held a small teddy bear. Her shoes were old, and her hair was a little messy. But her big brown eyes were full of hope. Mira walked closer. "Did you want to see me?" she asked softly. The little girl looked up. "Are you Miss Mira Blake?" "Yes," Mira replied. "That's me." The girl stood up slowly and said something that made everyone in the lobby turn their heads. "Can you be my mom? For just one day?" The words hung in the air. The receptionist stopped typing. 2 guards looked up in surprise. Even Mira stood still, unable to speak. "What? Did you say?" she finally asked. The little girl repeated in a small voice, "Can you be my mom? For one day?" Mira's heart skipped a beat. She had faced hundreds of hard meetings and cruel people, but this little question made her freeze. She took a deep breath. "Why do you want me to be your mom?" The girl looked down at her teddy bear and whispered, "Because you look like her." Mira's expression changed. "Like your mom?" The girl nodded. "And you have her necklace?" Myra blinked. "My necklace." She touched the small silver heart pendant she always wore. It was old, simple. It had the letters MB carved on the back, her mother's gift from many years ago. "How do you know this necklace?" Mira asked quietly. The girl looked nervous. "My mom had the same one. She said it was very special." Mira's hands trembled. "What happened to your mom?" she asked, the little girl's eyes filled with tears. "She went to work one day, and she didn't come back." Mira felt something heavy in her chest. She knelt down to look the child in the eyes. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Lily," the girl whispered. "Lily," Mira repeated softly. "Where is your father?" "I don't have one," Lily said. "Only my mom. But she's gone." For a moment, Mira didn't know what to do. Something about this little girl felt strangely familiar. The same necklace. The same eyes. Even her soft voice sounded like someone Mira used to know, someone from a long time ago. Lena came closer. "Ma'am, should I call the child services?" Mira shook her head slowly. "No, not yet." She looked back at Lily and said gently, "Come with me. We can talk upstairs." Lily nodded and held out her small hand. Mira hesitated, then took it. The touch was warm and soft, something she hadn't felt in years. As they stepped into the elevator, Lily smiled for the first time. "Thank you," she whispered. Mira looked down at her, trying to understand the strange feeling growing inside her heart. When the elevator doors closed, she noticed something shiny on Lily's wrist, a small bracelet with the same letters engraved. Breath caught in her throat. How could this little girl have the same initials? And the same necklace? The elevator bell rang. The doors opened. But deep inside, Mira knew her life was about to change forever. The elevator doors opened. Mira walked Lily into her quiet modern office. The walls were made of glass, the furniture white and clean. But the room felt cold, just like its owner. "Sit here," Mira said, pointing to the soft chair across from her desk. Lily sat carefully, still hugging her teddy bear. Her small legs dangled above the floor. Mira poured a glass of water and handed it to her. "Are you hungry?" Lily shook her head. "No, thank you." Mira studied her for a moment. The little girl looked nervous, but polite. Too polite for her age. "So," Mira began slowly, "you said your mother had this same necklace?" Lily nodded. "Yes, she used to wear it every day. She said it was a gift from someone special." "Do you know who gave it to her?" Mira asked. The girl frowned. "No, she never told me. She only said it reminded her of someone she missed." Mira's fingers touched her own necklace again. It was identical, even the scratches were in the same place. Her heart started beating faster. "Lily," Mira said softly, "what happened to your mom?" The little girl's eyes turned sad. "She went to work one day. She said she would come back before dinner, but she never did." "Where was she working?" Mira asked. Lily shrugged. "I don't know. I was very small then. But she had a badge like this one." She pointed at Mira's company ID card lying on the table. Mira's eyes widened. "You mean she worked at Myratech?" Lily nodded again. "Yes, that's what was written on the card." Mira leaned back in her chair, shocked. A former employee. There were thousands of workers in her company. But something told her this wasn't random. "Who takes care of you now?" Mira asked. "An old lady named Mrs. Grant. She's very nice, but she's sick most of the time," Lily said quietly. "I help her with small things." Mira noticed Lily's tiny hands. They had small cuts, maybe from washing dishes or cleaning. She felt an unfamiliar pain inside her chest. "Do you have a picture of your mom?" she asked carefully. Lily nodded and pulled a folded photo from her pocket. The paper was old and torn. Half of the woman's face was burned, but her eyes, soft and brown, looked so familiar. Mira's breath caught. She knew those eyes. She had seen them years ago in her childhood home. The woman in the photo wore the same necklace, the same shape, the same shine. "Where did you get this picture?" Mira asked, her voice shaking. "It was in Mommy's box," Lily said. "She told me if I ever get lost, I should find this lady." She pointed to a faint shape in the corner of the photo. It looked like Mira herself. Younger, standing beside the woman. Mira's hand trembled as she held the photo closer. Could it be her sister? When she was a child, Mira had a half-sister named Emma. Her father had left Emma's mother before Mira was born, and they never spoke again. Mira had not seen Emma since she was a teenager. Could Lily be Emma's daughter? Her thoughts were racing when Lena entered again. "Ma'am, the meeting is starting in 10 minutes. "Cancel it," Mira said without looking up. Lena froze. "But I said cancel it." Mira snapped. Lily jumped slightly at the sharp voice, and Mira immediately softened. "It's okay, Lily. I didn't mean to shout." "Ow." The girl gave a small smile. "It's okay. My mom used to talk like that too when she was busy." "Right." Mira's throat tightened. For years, she had believed family only brought pain. That's why she chose work over love. But now, this small child sitting in her office was pulling her back into a past she had buried, as the sun set behind the city skyline. Mira stood near the window holding the photo in her hand. Behind her, Lily played quietly with her teddy bear. 2 necklaces. 1 photo. One name that echoed in Mira's mind. Emma. Mira whispered to herself. "If you're really her daughter, then I failed you both." The lights in the office dimmed, and outside the window, the city glowed. Inside, for the first time in years, Mira Blake felt something deep and unfamiliar: guilt and love. That night, Mira couldn't sleep. The city lights flashed outside her window, but her mind was trapped in the past. She sat on her couch, holding the old photo Lily had given her. Half the picture was burned, but the woman's soft smile and warm eyes still shone through. Mira whispered to herself, "Emma, Is it really you? She hadn't spoken her sister's name in more than 20 years. Their childhood had been full of fights and tears. Mira's father had left Emma's mother to start a new family. And that new family was Mira's. Emma always looked at her with quiet anger, like she blamed Mira for everything that went wrong. When Mira turned 18, she left home to build her own life. She worked hard, built her company, and never looked back. But now, all those memories were returning, and with them, guilt, the photo, the necklace, the bracelet. It couldn't be a coincidence. That little girl, Lily, must be Emma's daughter. But if Emma was gone, what had happened to her? Mira opened her laptop and searched the company's old employee records. She typed Emma Blake in the system. The results loaded slowly, like the past didn't want to reveal itself. Finally, one name appeared. Emma Blake Department, Research and Design. Status: inactive. Myra clicked on it. The screen showed that Emma had worked at Myratech 7 years ago. Her file said, resigned due to personal reasons. Mira frowned. Resigned? No accident, no note? She scrolled further, but the record ended there. No address. No next of kin. Nothing. It was like Emma had disappeared completely. A strange thought hit her. Maybe Emma hadn't resigned at all. Maybe something had happened. And someone had erased the truth. Myra called her private investigator Daniel, an old friend who helped her with confidential work. Daniel, she said, her voice low, I need you to find everything about a woman named Emma Blake. She worked at Myratech 7 years ago. Oh. There was a pause. Blake, related to you? He asked. Yes, Mira admitted. She was my sister. Daniel's tone changed. I'll see what I can find. Give me a few days. After the call, Mira leaned back and stared at the ceiling. She felt a mix of fear and regret. What if she had unknowingly caused her sister's pain? What if the company she built had destroyed the only family she had left? The next morning, she returned to her office early. Lily was there, waiting quietly in the lobby with her teddy bear. Good morning, Ms. Mira, she said with a shy smile. Mira smiled back gently. Good morning, Lily. Did you sleep well? Yes, Mrs. Grant said. Thank you for the food you sent. Mira nodded. She had sent groceries to Lily's caretaker last night. It was the least she could do. She walked Lily into her office again. The girl's innocence softened the cold air of the room. Lily, Mira said carefully, when your mom was alive, did she ever talk about her family? Lily thought for a moment. She said she had a sister, but she never saw her again. Sometimes she cried at night and looked at the sky. Myra's chest tightened. Did she ever tell you her sister's name? Lily shook her head. No, she just said she wouldn't remember me. Those words felt like a knife in Mira's heart. She turned toward the window so Lily couldn't see the tears in her eyes. Outside, the rain began to fall, gentle at first, then heavier. The sound filled the silence. Lily walked closer and touched Mira's hand. Don't be sad, Ms. Mira, she said softly. My mom said people meet again when it's the right time. Myra looked down at her, smiling through her tears. Your mom was very wise. At that moment, the office phone rang. It was Daniel. I found something, he said. You might want to sit down. Myra's heart raced. What is it? Your sister, Emma Blake, didn't resign. She died in an accident near the Myratech construction site. But the report was hidden. Someone from your company covered it up. Mira froze. What? Who would do that? I don't know yet, Daniel said. But there's more. The last person she met before her death was your former assistant? The line went silent. Mira's hands shook as she whispered, my assistant. Yes, Daniel confirmed. The same woman who works with you now, Lena. Mira turned slowly toward the glass door where Lena was standing. Smiling politely at her, her stomach dropped. The truth was closer than she ever imagined. Mira sat frozen in her chair. Daniel's words echoing in her ears. Lena, the same assistant who had worked by her side for years, loyal, quiet, always careful, had been the last person to see Emma alive. Her eyes slowly lifted to the glass wall. Lena was standing outside talking to someone near the reception. She looked normal, calm, professional. But now Mira couldn't stop wondering. Was she hiding something all these years? Mira forced herself to sound calm. "Thank you, Daniel," she said quietly. "Find me everything about that night. Every detail." "I will," he replied. "But be careful. If someone covered this up, they won't want you to open it again." After the call, Mira sat still for a long moment, staring at her reflection in the dark glass window. Her own face looked strange, part anger, part guilt. When she finally stood up, her decision was made. She had spent years building walls around herself. But now, she needed to break one down for Emma and for Lily. That afternoon, Mira called Lena into her office. "Lena," she said slowly, "how long have you been working for me?" Lena smiled softly. "Almost 8 years, ma'am." "Since the early days of Myratech," Mira nodded, her face unreadable. "Then you must remember everyone from back then, including Emma Blake." Lena froze for half a second, just enough for Myra to notice. Then she forced a small laugh. "Emma, yes, I remember her name. She worked in research, right? I think she left suddenly." "Left?" Mira repeated, her tone sharper. "Are you sure she left and didn't die?" Lena's smile faded. "Why do you ask that?" Mira leaned forward. "Because I think you know more than you're saying." For a moment, Lena said nothing. Her fingers played nervously with the pen in her hand. "Ma'am, that was years ago. I didn't handle her department directly. Maybe HR knows better." Mira's eyes stayed on her. "Find me everything about Emma's resignation. Old files, security reports, accident logs, everything. I want them on my desk tomorrow morning." Lena hesitated but nodded. "Yes, ma'am." When she left, Mira let out a long breath. Her mind was spinning. Something wasn't right. She had trusted Lena for years. Could it be that Lena had betrayed her and her sister? That night, Mira went to visit Mrs. Grant, Lily's caretaker. The house was small and quiet with the smell of old books and medicine. Mrs. Grant, a kind-looking woman with gray hair, welcomed her in. "I wanted to ask about Lily's mother," Mira said gently. Mrs. Grant sighed. Poor Emma. She was such a lovely soul. Always tired, always worried. She worked long hours but never complained. "Did she ever talk about her job?" Mira asked. "Yes," Mrs. Grant said. "She said her boss was kind, but her assistant was cold. She said that assistant didn't let her deliver a message to someone important, said she was too busy to care." Myra's hands went cold. "Did she say who that message was for?" Mrs. Grant nodded slowly. "For you. She said she wanted to meet you, tell you something about the past. But your assistant turned her away. That same evening, Emma went to the company site to wait for you. There was an accident. A machine exploded." Mira's heart pounded. "Did anyone help her?" "No," Mrs. Grant said quietly. "The company called it a work accident. They sent a small payment, and that was all. After that, I took care of Lily." Mira felt her legs weaken. The truth hit her like a storm. Emma hadn't just been her sister. She had died trying to meet her. And Lena had been the wall that kept them apart. The next morning, Mira entered her office early. On her desk were 2 folders. One had Emma Blake written in bold letters. The other, smaller one, had no name, only a note that read, "Some truths should stay buried." Her hand shook as she opened the first file. Inside were photos of the accident site, witness reports, and one signed approval form with Lena's signature at the bottom. The second folder contained a short letter. It was from Emma. It said, "Mira, I came here to tell you something important about us, about our mother, about why she left, but if I can't reach you, please forgive me. I still believe one day you'll remember me not with anger, but with love." A tear rolled down Myra's cheek. She closed the folder, staring at the city skyline outside. Behind her, the office door opened quietly. Lena's voice broke the silence. "Ma'am, you found it, didn't you?" Mira turned slowly. "Yes, Lena. And now, you're going to tell me the rest." The air inside the office felt heavy, like the walls themselves were listening. Mira stood behind her desk, her eyes fixed on Lena. The assistant closed the door quietly, her face pale but calm. "So," Mira said coldly, "you were there the night Emma died." Lena swallowed hard. "Ma'am, please let me explain." "Explain?" Myra's voice cracked slightly. "You hid my sister's death. You forged documents. You lied to me for years." Lena shook her head quickly. "It wasn't what you think. I didn't want to hurt you. I was only following orders." "Orders?" Mira repeated, confused. "Whose orders?" Lena hesitated, her eyes darting to the window, as if afraid someone might hear. It came from above, from the board members at that time. They didn't want the company's image destroyed. Emma's accident happened just days before your first big investor meeting. If news came out that a worker died on site, the deal would have fallen apart. Myra's heart sank. "So they covered it up?" "Yes," Lena whispered. "They made it look like she resigned. They told me not to tell you anything. They said you were too emotional about family matters. I wanted to tell you, ma'am, but they warned me I'd lose my job. And everything." Mira felt anger boiling inside her. "So you chose your job over the truth?" Lena looked down, tears in her eyes. "I was scared. You were building an empire. I didn't want to ruin it. I thought keeping quiet would protect you. I was wrong." The room went silent. Outside, the rain hit the glass like small knocks. One after another, Mira turned away, her back to Lena. "Do you know what she wanted to tell me?" she asked softly. Lena nodded slowly. "Yes, she left a message that night." "I didn't give it to you," Mira turned sharply. "You what?" Lena took a small folded paper from her pocket. "I kept it all these years. I couldn't throw it away." Mira snatched it from her trembling hand. Her eyes filled as she unfolded the note. The handwriting was soft, familiar Emma's. It read, "Mira, I found something about Mom. Please meet me. It's about who we really are. I forgive you for everything." Mira's hand shook as she held the paper. "She forgave me. Even before I asked," she whispered. Lena's tears fell freely now. "I never meant to cause harm, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I see her daughter sometimes, the little girl, Lily. She looks just like Emma." Mira's head snapped up. "You've seen Lily?" "Yes," Lena said. "After Emma's death, I went to check on her. I wanted to help, but I couldn't get close. Mrs. Grant told me to stay away because she didn't trust company people anymore. So I watched from far. I sent small gifts every year, toys, clothes, all without a name." Mira's heart softened slightly. "Why didn't you tell me she was alive?" "I was ashamed," Lena whispered. "I thought you would never forgive me." For a long moment, the two women stood in silence. The truth had burned through years of lies, leaving only pain behind. Mira finally spoke, her voice quiet but steady. "You're right, Lena. I can't forgive you easily, but I can't hate you either. You were part of a lie, yes, but I was part of the silence." Lena looked up, surprised. "Ma'am?" Mira sighed. "I let work become my world. I forgot what family meant. Maybe if I hadn't pushed everyone away, Emma would still be alive." She walked to the window, the city lights reflecting in her eyes. "I built a company, but I lost my blood. Now, I have a chance to make things right for Lily." Lena stepped closer. "What will you do now?" Mira turned, determination burning in her gaze. "I'm going to give her the life her mother dreamed of. She deserves love, not loneliness. In this company, it will carry Emma's name, not just mine." Lena nodded, tears streaming down her face. "You're doing the right thing." "Maybe," Mira said softly, "but it's only the beginning." She opened a drawer and pulled out a small silver necklace, the twin of Emma's pendant. She held it tightly. "Tomorrow, I'll tell Lily everything." Lena wiped her eyes. She finally knew the truth. Mira looked toward the dark sky outside, and so will the world. The thunder rolled in the distance, but for the first time, Mira wasn't afraid of the storm. The truth had set her free, and now, she was ready to face what came next. The next morning, sunlight poured through Mira's office windows, washing away the cold shadows of the night before. but inside her heart the storm still lingered. She sat at her desk holding both necklaces, hers and Emma's, in her hands. They gleamed softly in the morning light. Two halves of a broken bond finally coming together, Mira whispered. I'm sorry, Emma. I'll make it right. I promise. A knock on the door broke her thoughts. It was Lily, holding her teddy bear, smiling shyly. Good morning, Ms. Mira, she said. You called me. Myra nodded gently. Yes, sweetheart. Come here. Lily walked over, her small footsteps echoing on the shiny floor. She climbed into the chair across from Mira, curious and innocent as ever. Lily, Mira said softly, I want to tell you something very important. It's about your mom. Lily's eyes widened. You know my mom? Mira nodded. Her voice trembled, but she continued, Your mom's name was Emma Blake. She was kind, brave, and she loved you more than anything in the world. Lily's lips quivered. You knew her? Mira smiled sadly. She was my sister. The room went silent. Lily stared at her, eyes round and shining with surprise. Your sister? Then, that means... Yes, Mira said, tears forming in her eyes. That means I'm your aunt. Lily gasped softly. I have family? Myra nodded, wiping a tear from her cheek. I do. And I'm so sorry I wasn't there before. I didn't know, Lily. I didn't know what happened to your mom. Lily hugged her teddy tightly. Mom used to say she had a sister she missed a lot. She said one day that sister would find me. Mira's heart broke completely. She got up, walked around the desk, and knelt beside Lily. Your mom was right, she whispered. I found you, and I'm never going to leave you again. Lily's eyes filled with tears. She reached out and hugged Mira tightly. For the first time in years, Myra felt warmth spread through her chest, real human warmth. The kind that no success or money could ever replace. After a long moment, Lily looked up and smiled through her tears. Can you still be my mom? For just one day? Mira's voice cracked as she whispered, No, sweetheart. Not for one day, but for every day. That evening, Mira took Lily out for ice cream, the first time she had ever stepped into the city without her business suit or guards. They laughed together in the park, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold and pink. Lily ran across the grass, her laughter echoing like a song Mira hadn't heard in years. For once, Mira didn't think about meetings or profits. She just watched the little girl, her sister's daughter, chasing butterflies with joy. When they returned home, Mira cooked dinner for the first time in years. It was simple, soup and bread, but Lily said it was the best food ever. After dinner, they sat on the couch. Lily leaned her head on Myra's shoulder. Mom used to tell me stories before I slept, she said softly. Will you tell me one? Mira smiled gently. Of course. She told her a story about two sisters who were lost but found their way back to each other through love even after one was gone. Lily listened, her eyes heavy with sleep, a soft smile on her lips. As she drifted off, Myra whispered, I love you. Lily, I'll keep you safe. Always. Lily murmured, half asleep. You're the best mom ever. Myra's tears fell silently as she kissed the child's forehead. And you're the best daughter I could ever ask for. She looked at the necklaces on the table, hers and Emma's now joined by a small bracelet with the same initials. MB, she clasped them together in her hand, whispering, Emma, she's safe now. I'll love her for both of us. Outside, the night was quiet. The city lights glowed softly, no longer cold or distant. For the first time in her life, Myra Blake didn't feel lonely. She felt complete, not as a CEO, not as a woman of power, but as a mother. As she turned off the lights and looked at the sleeping girl, Mira smiled. Can you be my mom for just one day? The child had asked now. She finally had her answer.